Something about that Instagram post felt instantly different. Not flashy, not staged for attention, just Ben Shephard and his wife Annie, side by side, sharing a quiet, genuine smile after a night out that somehow still managed to feel special. A school night, no less. And for anyone who's followed Good Morning Britain for years, that small detail carried more weight than any carefully worded press release ever could. Ben has always been the steady presence on the sofa, warm, quick with a joke, the kind of presenter who makes early mornings feel less like a chore. Yet when it comes to his private life, he's been remarkably careful. Annie rarely appears. Their two sons grow up largely away from the cameras. So when Ben posts a simple selfie from the Julian MacDonald show at Southwark Cathedral during London Fashion Week, it lands differently. It feels like a small window has been opened, just for a moment, into the part of his life that usually stays closed. You can almost sense the atmosphere of that evening through the picture. The cathedral's dramatic backdrop, the energy of Fashion Week, the rare chance for a couple with school-age children to step out together without the usual rush of morning calls and homework. Ben's caption carried that familiar light touch, an actual evening out with Annie, on a school night and everything. The humor is there, the understatement, the quiet pride. But underneath it sits something warmer. This is a man who has been married since 2004, who met Annie long before the television career took over, and who still finds it worth celebrating when the two of them manage to claim an evening that belongs only to them. Many viewers watching from home seem to feel that same quiet recognition. In a television landscape full of polished red carpet appearances and carefully curated family moments, this one felt unforced. No grand declarations. Just two people who have built a life together choosing to mark a rare free night with a fashion show and a shared photograph. Some audiences online began wondering whether the timing mattered more than it first appeared. Ben had recently spoken about Annie recovering from pneumonia. A gentle stroll and a sit together had been mentioned only weeks earlier. Suddenly this night out carried an extra layer of meaning, not dramatic, not overstated, simply the relief of ordinary happiness returning. That is what stayed with people. Not the clothes or the venue, but the sense that after years of early starts and the demands of live television, Ben still prioritizes these small windows of connection. The way he looks at the camera, the easy closeness with Annie, the fact that he chose to share it at all. Viewers who have followed him through the years on Good Morning Britain often talk about how grounded he seems. Moments like this reinforce that feeling. They suggest a presenter who understands that the real story isn't always the one unfolding under the studio lights. There's something almost cinematic in the contrast. On screen, Ben navigates heated debates, celebrity interviews, and the unpredictable energy of morning television with practiced ease. Off-screen, he is simply a husband posting a photograph of a night that nearly didn't happen because the children had school the next day. That contrast is part of why the image resonated. It reminded people that even the most familiar faces on British television still have to fight for ordinary moments of closeness. Some people watching felt a particular fondness for the understated way Ben framed it. No over-the-top romance. Just quiet appreciation. In an era when celebrity relationships are often performed for public consumption, this one felt protected. Annie has always preferred a lower profile, and Ben has largely respected that boundary. When he does share a glimpse, it tends to feel earned rather than obligatory. That restraint is rare, and audiences notice it. Perhaps what made the post linger is the way it invited viewers to reflect on their own lives. How many couples with young children recognize that phrase, school night? How many understand the small triumph of claiming an evening that doesn't revolve around packed lunches and bedtime stories? Ben's photograph, simple as it was, became a mirror for something larger, The quiet work of keeping a relationship alive amid the noise of careers and family responsibilities. And maybe that's why moments like this continue to spark conversation long after the cameras stop rolling. Not because anything dramatic was revealed, but because something honest was. A long marriage, a rare night out, a smile that didn't need explaining. In the end, it wasn't the fashion show or the cathedral that stayed with people. It was the reminder that even the faces we see every morning still value the quiet, ordinary evenings that make everything else possible. What did you notice in that photograph? Did it feel the same way to you, like a small, welcome window into a life usually kept private? Share your thoughts below.